Lesson number 52 is about addition of rational expressions with unequal denominators and overall average. Now the first problem asks us to solve by adding. We want a over x plus b over x plus y. Now we know when we have problems that have unequal denominators, maybe we had 1/2 plus, let's say we had 1/4. If we had 1/2 plus 1/4, we change the 1/2 into 2/4. And then we'd add it to 1/4, so we have the same denominator, and we get our answer of 3/4. Well, that's an easy one, and you know how to do that one. And if you know how to do this one, you can also solve this problem, because we use the same method. What we did here is we multiplied the 2 times a 2 in order to get to our 4, and we did the same thing to the top as well. We multiplied by 2 times 1 to get to 2 to rewrite our equivalent fraction. Now in this problem, we're going to do the same thing. Our least common denominator here, x times x plus y. So we'll rewrite a over x plus, and we're going to leave more room, b over x plus y. Now, an easy way to get to our common denominator in these problems is to multiply each by what we see on the other side. So I'm going to multiply x times x plus y. And then what I do in the denominator, I also have to do in the numerator. X plus y, we have to multiply that by x in order to have the same denominator. So we're going to multiply the top by x as well. Now we can rewrite. We know we're going to get a times x plus y. Well, we can distribute now, and we can say ax plus ay all over x times x plus y, and we don't need to distribute that because it's going to stay the same throughout our denominators, plus bx over x plus y times x, and we'll make it the same by putting the x on the left, just like we see here. Now, our denominators stay the same, x times x plus y, just as they did in our original problem. 4 and 4 stayed as 4. And then we just add across the top. There are no like terms there, so we're going to get ax plus ay plus bx. And we're all done. We can't simplify that any further because there are no common factors. So we go ahead and box our answer, and we'll move on to the next question. We'll always use this similar process of finding our least common denominator, rewriting, and then solving to add rational expressions with different denominators. Let's look at another problem. Here we have 4x plus a over a plus b plus c over x. So let's rewrite and leave ourselves some more room. We always need that more room because we're going to be multiplying to find our least common denominator. Now in this problem, a plus b and x. So let's take our x and multiply it times a plus b. Well, we're going to do that in the top as well. So we'll multiply everything by, well, we're going to multiply by x. Then we're going to take x and we're going to multiply by a plus b. And then we're going to take our numerator and we're going to multiply by a plus b. Now what that does, it gives us x times a plus b in the denominator. That's perfect because that's going to be the denominator of our answer. X times a plus b. Fantastic. We've got most of our work done. So what we're going to do now is we can distribute. We've got x times 4x. Well, that's going to give us 4x squared. Then we have x times a, so we're going to get plus xa, because the problem told us to add. Then we're going to get plus, we have c times a when we distribute, and c times b. Now our final step, as we've written this all together, is to see if we can add any of our like terms. And we don't have any like terms, so we can't add. Our next step, go ahead and box it, because we're all done. We can move on to the next question now, because we found our final answer by adding these two different fractions. The next part of the lesson was about overall average. And this question says, the average of the first 90 numbers was 4. The average of the next 10 numbers was 6. what was the overall average? So an average, well, that's just the sum of the numbers divided by the number of numbers. And this question says the first 90 numbers, the average was 4. The next 10 numbers, the average was 6. So if we have 90 numbers and 10 numbers, that must be a total of 100 numbers. So to find our average now, we need to find the sum of all 100 of those numbers. Well, the average of the first 90 was 4. So we could say 4 plus 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 4 90 times, or more efficiently, we could just say 90 times 4. That's what I'd like to do. That's what I hope you'd like to do as well. Then to that, we're going to add the sum of the next 10 numbers, which was 6 as an average for those 10. So we're going to say 10 times 6. So 90 times 4, that's 360. 10 times 6, that's 60. And we're going to take that answer and divide it by 100. 360 plus 60, well, that's going to be 420 divided by 100. And it's nice dividing by 100 because we can just move our decimal point over 2. So 420 divided by 100, that's just going to be 4.2. So the average of those 100 numbers must have been 4.2. We can assess whether that's reasonable or not. It should be closer to 4 because the average of 90 of the 100 numbers was 4. And the average of 10 of those 100 numbers was 6. So it should be closer to 4. It is. It's 4.2. So we found our overall average. Overall average, well, here's a definition. And this might look like another definition that you've seen before. It could look like the definition for average, the sum of all the numbers divided by the number of numbers. So let's go ahead and undo that part because the overall average is exactly the same as a regular average. Our lesson practice will be on page 213. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.